Yo, yo, yo. There is a new witch on the block, and she's about to take over. It's Miss Gray here, and today we're gonna talk about twin flames. Specifically, I don't know what this was, specifically about the divine feminines. Now, what I've come to realize personally is that I feel I've come to recognize that this twin flame journey path for me is not just like a little side piece on the side. It's actually really part of the main course, which is moi. So, because it's just something, no matter how frustrated and exhausted I am in my twin flame path, it's just something that keeps presenting itself as something tangible and important and pay attention to me. And so I'm paying attention. And often what I've noticed is that when I go through something in my twin flame journey, just on an individual level, I've noticed that other twin flame feminines, whether you are a man or a woman, are going through the same. And it's so important to understand. And in the twin flame relationship, it really can be the man or a woman, like who cares, that is carrying the feminine or the masculine energy. Because what I've noticed for sure is that the energies, even the identities shift, because sometimes I feel, I know I have kind of taken on my twins' essence and persona, and it's almost, if you are an empath, you might understand what that's like to sort of channel somebody or feel someone else's energy. But in the twin flame dynamic, at least in my experience, it's even more than that. Like you start literally almost live like your twin, listen to the same music, all of a sudden like the same foods, or it's very interesting. I think it's really cool actually. And you get these insights of actually how it is to, perhaps, in lack of better words, like don't come for me, but what it is almost to live in a masculine brain or live in with a feminine brain, or thought patterns or perceived notions of what they expect us to be. You start smelling the same scents as your twin. Like that's even hard to explain. Like how can you know what your twin is smelling? But it almost, you just know that. I don't know. It's just, well, I do know, but it's interesting to explain. And because I don't know if everyone who, if anyone, but anyone who might see this knows about the twin flame dynamic journey and who are twin flames or what they are. So it's just sometimes interesting to explain that. But how I want to start this first is by saying that collectively, and I think a lot of you guys have noticed this, that the world collectively is going through like a major identity shift. Like the world is leaving its old identity behind. They are rediscovering themselves. Well, better yet, remembering who they are. The world is like reading quotes. The collective consciousness of the world is like reading quotes that say, imagine, your higher self and show up as them, or, however those quotes go. And as I feel that today I'm serving this Selena Kyle realness, which I think is fitting because, like I said, I feel that collectively we're going through this identity shift, the world is, and it's purging all the old ideas and thought patterns of what was. The falsehood is being purged, and the truth is coming to the surface. And the divine feminines, I feel, have been going through it. And bravely so, because by no means I feel that the divine feminines have not done the work. I feel we have, and I feel we feel a little exhausted, almost like, well, I hope I haven't done this for nothing. And for me as well, I personally went through a little twin flame exhaustion like a couple of months ago, because the main reason for me was I'm a clair person, clairvoyant, sentient, audient, all of those things. Not to toot my own horn, just to explain you guys why I felt exhausted. And I've noticed that the twin flame telepathy, now whether you are in union with your twin or not, is on an all-time high. And it's frustrating if you're not in union with your twin, or just not even in union but in some sort of, speaking terms, I guess, because it's almost like you're in a relationship with someone who's not there. Like you're alone, and you feel even more alone because you feel the energy of your twin. It's almost like they whisper into your ear, and when you look back, there's no one there. So you feel your twin's energy like they supposed to be there, but they're not. And for me and my twin, a lot of the communication, the telepathic communication, happened through songs. So it was constantly, when I heard a song that was from him, there's this heightened sensory thing that goes on. Like it's almost like the voice intensifies, like whatever song is playing, it feels like all of a sudden it starts to play louder, although it isn't, but it just sounds like it's like, hear me, like this is for you, this message. So I was just speaking to myself, because I know that ultimately my twin will feel the energy. And also I was speaking to my, let's say, to my higher self, that why, girl, why did you choose this path? Like, I'm exhausted. Like, I just don't understand why. But then, I gathered myself, I got myself together, and I remembered that if I'm like even half as smart in this incarnation here right now as I am, my higher self must be one of the smartest women I will ever meet. You know what I mean? Because sure, I'm not saying I'm the smartest, but like I said, if I'm even as half as smart as sometimes I think I am, just as I am right now, my higher self, they must be, a pure genius. So I trust that girl, and I know that this path is for nothing. It's not for nothing. Subconscious. It's not for nothing. And so also what I've come to terms with, why this, let me first say why this has been difficult, why I feel exhausted, is that I feel the twin flames, the divine feminines collectively have gone through so much change that it's been like earth shattering. Like everything you thought you knew about yourself, about your circle, about the identity that you used to present yourself as, has almost been totally like vanished, or it's been like redirected. And I almost also feel that a lot of the divine feminines have gone through a lot of physical changes, and this actually is happening collectively to the feminine energy, is that mentally, spiritually, and physically we are going through a lot of changes. And this might show itself as, like I said, a lot of people changing their style, cutting their hair, losing weight, gaining weight, almost like recalibrating to their truest form, or at least to the form they are supposed to represent right now, that will serve themselves and perhaps the collective feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, the best right now. So a lot of physical changes, a lot of changes in feminine relationship with your feminine female, friends, with your mother, with your grandmother, with your sister, So it might have felt a lot. And you might have been asking, almost like having like an identity crisis, almost a little bit. And no matter how hard you perhaps have been trying to stay a bit in your comfort zone and do the same things you did before and present yourself like you did before and joke about yourself the same way you did before and perhaps belittle yourself the same way you did before, dress the same way you did before, but it just doesn't work. Let's say, you used to be a person who wore a lot of, this is gonna sound so generic, but this is just an example. Like, let's say you wear a lot of bodycon dresses or mini skirts or crop tops to feel sexy. Now, all of a sudden, now you try to feel sexy with the same clothes, and you just don't. Like, they just do not resonate with you. No matter, and the confusion comes in because now you have to rediscover what makes you feel sexy and empowered, or vice versa. Perhaps you used to wear a lot of baggy clothes, or clothes that weren't so fitting to the body, and you felt more sexy and confident like that. But now you try to put those same baggy clothes on again, and you just it just doesn't work. Like, perhaps you need to wear a miniskirt, so this is what I'm saying. And like I said, there is always this persona that we almost like consciously put on, or partially also like has been put on to us by other people. We have this idea perhaps how other people perceive us, and we behave accordingly. And all this is changing. Like, you are being called, I feel, going back to Selina Kyle, like, you need to channel that Halle Berry after she became Halle Berry in a Catwoman form, Michelle Pfeiffer in Catwoman form. You can't be Selina Kyle in before the transformation, a doormat, whatever, not being brave, you kind of, I think it's time to find your inner, like, meow, and or perhaps somewhere in the middle, because like Selina Kyle, she is both the Selina Kyle, the naughty professor, perhaps. Wasn't she a professor, like, as her profession? And also she is Selina Kyle, the Catwoman. So, it's like you can be both of those things, I guess. But what I'm just trying to say with this weird metaphor is that you are like, the theme of the twin flame energy right now, I feel, is about liberation, truth, and courage, and being bold. Like, honestly, almost being a bit wild. Within, honestly, do no harm to others. Obviously, we should all know that. Um, so, and and also, I think why the journey has been so intense to the twin flames, to the wave of twin flames that are stepping in right now, is partially because in my intuitive feelings, I feel that the twin flames that are here right now are a lot of the twin flame couples, the divine masculines and feminines both. So if you are a masculine listening to this, perhaps this resonates, are generational curse breakers in their family. So not only are they being asked to lead in this twin flame journey, but they are also being chosen to break patterns, thought patterns within their family lineage. What comes to mind is this scene in the movie Titanic, which to me is one of the most beautiful representations of the twin flame relationship. I genuinely feel that film ultimately is about twin flame love and how the right kind of love can actually set you free. Honestly, it's about the power of love. And because how we think about love in these terms, when you hear the word love, there's a bunch of things that come to mind, but I think we haven't yet even fully understand or perhaps understood or even seen what love actually can do. And I think that the twin flames are here to lead and show, whether it is in their personal lives or globally, because there are a lot of twin flames also in the public eye and just in some sort of public platforms, or like I said, whether it is just in your own circle of life. I feel that we are being led to show what love can actually do, because love to me is like an avatar. Love is like a person who has many avatars, and the word love is one aspect of that avatar, but there is actually other avatars of love that are even higher frequency and even more powerful than what the word love, how we know it, is being experienced. And also, I feel that, the twin flame masculines are being led to show how does the healed, empowered masculine looks like. What can it be? Obviously, that still is going to be individual to every person, but there is this collective stream of things that we all share, and it's important that the collective stream is healed as well, so that we can heal in an individual level. Well, perhaps the individual healing happens first and then it bleeds into the collective. But and same with the feminines, like the feminines are being led to show or lead how the divine feminine really looks like. So I was talking about Titanic, and there's this scene in Titanic that Rose is in a cabin with her mom, and her mom is tightening up Rose's corset, and like Rose can't even like breathe. Her mom is being a little like aggressive with it, and she is talking to Rose about about how her marriage to Cal is going to save their family name and keep their family name intact, and provide wealth to their family. She's like gaslighting Rose basically, so that Rose will stay in this marriage, and simultaneously she's like tightening up the corset on Rose. And then Rose kind of snarkily turns to her mom and says, "Stop it, mother, you're gonna give yourself a nosebleed," or something like that. And her mom like immediately recognizes the defiance in Rose, because I feel that in that moment Rose is being called to break the generational patterns and thought patterns that have been put upon in to the women in their family lineage. And Rose indeed is the one who breaks that cycle of perhaps marrying for money, and or women having to behave a certain way, women not being able to live the lives they want to live, or whatever, everything. I know Rose wants to ride a plane, she wants to ride horses without a saddle, which in that time was like, oh, it's a scandal. And marry for love, which wasn't a thing to do. Like people married, women especially married for wealth, or status or whatnot. So, and the love that she has with Jack frees Rose, really. And Rose is able to step into her divine feminine, because she was portraying this distorted feminine image, which to the mainstream looked like the perfect woman with the tightened up corset, and you're just polite and you don't say anything, to rock the boat. But that wasn't really who Rose was, and she knew it. And by repressing that, it made Rose not even want to live. But then insert Jack, and it's not even about, like, Rose ultimately saved herself. But the thing is, love does heal, and the twin flame love is even more, if I dare to say this, it's even more potent than just regular love. All love matters, though. So what I'm just saying here is, like, even Rose had to go through this identity shift to leave that old Rose behind. And she had to go through all those things that happened in that ship. Now, obviously, I know that Titanic actually what happened for real, so respectfully I speak about this, but I am talking about the film. Rest in power, everyone in Titanic who were in that ship. But Rose in that film had to go through everything she went through. There's nothing that could be taken off from that experience that Rose had, in order for Rose to rise, to remember who the fuck she is. And she did. And so this is what I'm saying here today, is that trust that everything leading up to this moment, because I feel that right now the divine feminines are, about to be liberated. You were liberated the whole time. Now you're just realizing it. And, it's about courage, victory, be bold. However that, think about how that what would that mean to you in your life to channel these things. And remember, sometimes courage can mean that you let go of control. When we think about courage, we might easily think like, oh, we have to do more, we have to hustle, we have to put like beast mode on. Sometimes courage means trust, leap of faith, let go and let God, or let Jesus take the wheel, and whatnot. So just however that feels in your life, ask yourself, what would courage do? What would liberation do? What would wild do? These questions. And I truly, truly believe that both the divine masculine and divine feminines, right now, the wave of flames that are stepping in are really here to heal generational thought patterns and ideas in your family. So be bold, be wild, be Selena Kyle, or whoever bold as man or woman you want to channel, and just trust, and courage. That's all. Namaste, live long and prosper, and I'll be back. Bye.